Has not been established. And generally, fair value needs some X time to be established. Okay, it can't be established in 1 millisecond. It has to be some time of markets going in and out of the market for fair value to be properly established, to find a fair price where people are willing to buy and also willing to sell. That's the goal in all the markets. That's why price moves. It's always trying to find the fair value. So what we're trying to do here are we're trying to find places where price hasn't spent a lot of time. Okay, we can identify this super easily in two ways. One, we're looking for low time pockets. Okay, a low time pocket. I'm just going to share my entire screen so I can switch back and forth between TradingView very quickly. There we go. A low time pocket is a place. I'm just going to scroll up even more. A place where the TPO is making a high, then a low, and then another high. This here would be your pocket. That means price spent a lot of time up here, but then went through and spent a lot of time down there, right? That's the idea. We can see high time, low time, high time. That usually means that price went through this price area here very quickly. So that's number one, what we're looking for. So I'll see if we can find any immediately. We'll scroll back a bit. Here's a very good one. This means fair value was established there. Fair value was established here because a lot of time was spent, but not a lot of fair value was spent here. 30 minutes or less was spent in this area. And that is what this blue line is showing you. Yeah. This blue line here is showing you a low time pocket, okay? So I'm marking out with a rectangle just to make it clear, but that's what these blue lines are. These are they're called single prints. They're when there's only one block. The answer. Yes, you can do this if you want to. You can do this manually by going down to the 1 minute and it's looking at okay how much time did price spend, but that's a far more manual and like bad way of doing it because it takes so much time and it's not very objective. So using a TPO instead is far more helpful. So we'll do one last example. Let's see here. Let's look for a pocket. Here's a pocket. It's actually multiple here. We'll look for one with a low volume node. Not too many on Bitcoin right now. Here, for example, here's a low volume node, but as we can see, price just completely blew through that imbalance. Okay, which helps because we know then we can understand. Okay, this doesn't work every time because sometimes the market selling is just too large. Okay, here the market sellers. I'll turn on the net shorts here. Look how many shorts are entering the market here. So in this case, this imbalance wasn't able to hold this. Hold it. Here we have a low volume node. We go up, we touch it, pump. Oops. Send it again. We go up, we touch it, we pump. So it's a good way to establish imbalances. So that's number one. Using low volume nodes, low time nodes to identify places where low time has been spent, therefore fair value hasn't been established, and therefore these are imbalances which can usually be played off of. And here as well with this huge one here, this single print here. I mean, it pumped pretty perfectly off it once, twice, 3 times, and right now we're pushing through it. Actually, we're pumping from it again. So yeah. But yeah, so that's that. Any questions regarding this part? Doesn't seem to be any. All right. That's what someone's typing here. Let's see. Let's wait. Only TradingView use? Yes, I believe this exists on TradingView. I'll check my template here. Oops, that was the wrong one. 1 sec, guys. 1 sec. Yeah, so it exists on TradingView as well, but the TradingView one is far less accurate. Just have that in mind, but it does exist on TradingView as well. It's the you can just search up TPO. There we go. But yeah, I recommend using Excel charts because the TPO is far more accurate. Because the thing is, TradingView doesn't aggregate data as well as Excel does. So all the data you're getting here is pretty like mid. But I mean, you can use it if you can't afford Excel charts or whatever. But I mean, you need the TradingView subscription. You need to use the TPO. This one here is more expensive than Excel charts, I believe. I think you need the highest plan on TradingView to use it. But yeah, let's go back to Excel charts. So that's number one. Using it to figure out imbalances and using those as points of reversals. Point number 2 is to use it to identify places where there is fair value, where there is expected balance. Okay, and as an example, we have TradingView. I'll go back to my regular chart. The way this is usually done on a regular chart is by using a volume profile. Okay, using a volume profile. The reason for this is because usually where there's high volume, there's also fair value. That's usually the idea. So we're expecting, based on this high volume node here, we're expecting balance around here. We're expecting balance on there, expecting balance there, etc. Right? But the thing is, just because there's high volume doesn't mean there's fair value. Because someone like tons of market shorters can just instantly dump the market, and that will give you a very high volume node. That doesn't mean that's giving you fair value. It's just manipulation, right? But if you use a TPO, you can identify places where high time nodes are. So time point of controls rather than volume point of controls, which is this one. Point of control. This is your volume point of control. You can use a time point of control, which are these red ones here. The time point of control and volume point of control are very usually around the same place. We'll talk about what happens when they're not, but they're usually at the same place. And if these line up, so if you have let's say here, for example, here these two line up very, very perfectly, which makes this a point of balance. Okay, we have a time and volume point of control there, time volume point of control there, 2 days in a row. Okay, we turn on the candle structure, we'll see that this is a very, very clean distribution. Okay, which means that we're expecting balance here. So if we were to dump down here, we're expected to generate new fair value and for us to potentially pump back up. Okay, so this will be a very, very key support level, which is why I have my Bitcoin long around here. So you're looking for these time and volume point of controls to stack up across multiple days. So we'll look for another case of this, because this hasn't been tested yet. So turn off the candles to remove any bias we may have. Let's look for here, for example. Here we have 3 ones that match up pretty perfectly. Okay, which means that this is a point where we're expecting balance. Okay, we're not expecting us to just shoot through here. We're expecting consolidation here. If we turn on the candles, you can see just that consolidation before we finally shoot up. Right? We're not dipping below and just shooting through it because this is where the most fair value has been established. Therefore, it makes sense to consolidate here. So look for one last example. Let's take here. Let's do this one. Here, expecting balance here, which means that we're expecting consolidation and bounces off it, right? Because we are developing fair value here, and for some reason we're continuing to go up. That means that fair value is increasing. The expected value of the asset is increasing. Okay, that means that if we were to go back down to the price, if that happens, we're expected to see the same move. Okay, if we turn on the candles here, we'll see what happens. Consolidation, like we said, going back down, touching it again, and another pump. So yeah. So now I've identified 2 places where swing points are expected. 1, imbalances, and number 2, points where fair value has been established, which are these high volume nodes and high time nodes stacked on top of each other. That's the idea. So for a more local sense, we'll look for where this is currently. We made this right here between the 17th and 19th, 16th and 19th, sorry. Yeah. So this would be your expected fair value range here. So we'll see what happens when price travels after this to this area. Turn it on. We're seeing consolidation, pump. Here we just like that. We're consolidating at the same area, pumped again. Consolidating here, we rejected from it. Here we just pumped through it. So in this case, now fair value has shifted, right? Fair value is no longer in this area. Fair value has shifted to somewhere else. Around here, for example. You're making 2 new ones that stack on top of each other. Which will make this the new fair value area. And we'll see what happens when price touches this area. Well, do it from this one there. Extend it a bit. That. We touch it, reject, touch it, reject. Right? So this makes sense. At least I hope it does. I hope I've explained it okay. So any questions regarding this one? See one person typing. Looks like same. Are there preferred conflicts you use with this? Yes, you essentially want these to be stacked on top of each other. Okay, so if a resistance is stacking on top of a place where fair value has been established, that's a very, very good level. Looks like the same. Yeah, so the volume profile and TPO is not the same. They usually don't even look the same. So don't. It's important to not confuse them because one is far more accurate than the other. Because volume can be very, very deceiving, and time can also be deceiving, which is what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so I'll am I able to remove all the drawings? Charger Mac. I should charge my Mac. I'll get my charger. One sec. Thank you. 5%. One sec. How time can be deceiving. Okay. So I'll. Is it possible to remove all these? Let's see here. Objects. Where is my object? Oops. There we go. There we go. All right. So next we're going to talk about how time may be deceiving. Okay. So like we said, what we're trying to identify are places of fair value. And we're using the time price opportunity chart for this. But sometimes, just because the most amount of time has been spent at an area, that does not always mean that's the fair value. Because sometimes in the middle of a day, fair value changes. Maybe a news event comes that makes Bitcoin for some reason less valuable, whatever. That means that even though, let's say, the most amount of time was spent here, the fair value may be down here. And the way we identify this is for looking for discrepancies between the time point of control and the volume point of control. Okay, the time point of control is the red one. The volume point of control is the white one. And what, like I said, we're looking for discrepancies, so differences, a gap between these two. This gap isn't big enough. This is the same price here, 52.25 or to 52.3. That's no difference. Okay, but something like this is a significant difference. It's almost $500 worth of difference. So what happened here was even though the most amount of time was spent here, so in theory fair value should be down here, most volume was spent up here, which means that the more amount of participants was able to develop a fair value. Okay, because if you have 10 million participants in 1 minute, that's going to develop more fair value than 100 participants in an hour. Right? That makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys? That the more transaction that goes through, the more fair value will be established. So even though the most time was spent down here, the most transaction was done here. Okay, which usually means that the new fair value is up here, which makes this the same thing we used earlier where we had this where these overlap. The same thing where we're looking for bounces off this area. So we'll extend this off to the same area, to this area here. I'll make it a bit more accurate, or precise rather, like that. And we'll see what happens when price reaches this area. Turn on the here. Goes up, bounces, goes up, bounces, right? Because this is the actual fair value where fair value was established, because the most amount of transaction was transacted here. Okay, so you're looking for discrepancies. So in this case, this time point of control would be, if you're seeing discrepancies between these, you should probably avoid this one and focus on the volume point of control. But you obviously have to judge how big the discrepancy is. So look for another example of this. Let's look for another big discrepancy. See, here we have a massive one. Okay, so even though the most amount of time was spent down here, far more volume was transacted up here, which makes this the new fair value, right? You wouldn't be correct to say that this is the fair value, because way more volume has been transacted up here. And we'll see what happens when price reaches these areas. Well, it bounces, right? So it's the same idea. You're looking for discrepancies between the time point of control and the volume point of control. Right. Any questions regarding this? Red line, yes, the red line is the time point of control, and the white line is the volume point of control. That's correct. All right, so moving on, we'll go over some live examples of this on some coins, to show you how this can be used in practice, basically. So we'll go on the Binance chart and just select a random coin. We'll do PNT is nobody coin. We'll do select BNB. Okay, so first we obviously want to mark out our support resistances, etc. Turn off this for now. So we have a clear support resistance level there. We have one down here. We have a demand block around here. Yeah, that's it for now. So we'll go back to the TPO here, go on BNB, and wait for this to load a bit. So first, we're going to look for imbalances, okay? These are, like I said, low time nodes, which are usually marked out in blue. It is blue lines, but I'll decrease the tick a bit. Okay, I'll do a bit lower. 40. All right, so like I was saying, first we're going to try to identify any imbalances we can see. And like I also said, I said that we're looking for places where it has made pockets, basically, like I said. I'll zoom in a bit and look for any pockets that I may see. Okay, so we have made pockets there, pockets here. This one has been gone through. Here we have a pocket down here. So then our 357 level, 357 to 356. There we go. Here's a low pocket, low time pocket. We'll look for one more. There isn't that too much on BNB here. But we have this one. So we'll see if this lines up with any of our levels. So it's 357. 357, that's right around here. Which is also this support resistance. So we now have one key level marked out. Now we'll look for some places where fair value has been established. So we'll go back here, turn off the candles for now, because it makes it easier to spot. So this entire area here was where fair value was established. So bottoming around 351, so right around our support here, be around here. And we also made, let's see here. Nothing up here. But here we can see we made a time volume discrepancy, right? Pretty solid gap between these two. Okay. Which will make this area here the new place of acceptance. Okay, so this is the 373. Get the exact level. 368 is the exact level. Actually, that's incorrect. That was the wrong node. 3734. 37334. Just right around. I'll go on a lower time frame here. 3734. Just right around there. So here we made some acceptance, which is right around another resistance, support, 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 flip to resistance, and back now to support. Okay, so based on this, we can pretty confidently say that, I'll just mark out this trend line as well, just because I see it like that. Based off this, we can say that, okay, so fair value has been now established down here. We're looking for a flip of this potential retest with a breakout trend line to potentially go long. And these are almost only based off TPO confluences. Then you can put your DCAs down here around this demand block. In this case, just using this discrepancy here to find out where new fair value has been established. Okay, see that a time put control was around 377, so around there. So you can make this a take profit, for example, right? So let's say you were to long down here. You can do a take profit there. You can do a take profit up around these point controls, 380, around there, etc. Right? And obviously you would TP higher based. Real world example here. BNB was a pretty odd and not perfect coin to do this on because it doesn't really make any balances. As you can see, there's no real blue lines here. Let's go on one last coin as just as an example here. Let's do SEI. SEI, I'll just stick to 20 maybe. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So here we have far more imbalances, right? We have these blue lines here, and as we can see, we are sitting around these imbalances here. This would be your imbalance, right? And we'll see what happens when price touches this. We have recently touched it, so what happened was we bounced from it, right? We may break this and go below, but the idea is we did just bounce off this exact level, right? As you can see, just exact level, bounce off it. Reasoning being fair value price didn't spend enough time in this area to develop fair value. So next we have an imbalance up at, move this. We have an imbalance up around here, around 927. So I'll go to a say chart. Right, so 927 was our level. Right around there, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. We have acceptance up here with these two stacked on top of each other. As you can see, they're there around the 955. And we also have this over here. Let's see. Let's make this a bit more. And we have this one here. This imbalance down here at 707. 707. Oops. 0.707. There we go. And lastly, we have this one here with this 1, 2, 3 stacked on the top of each other, which is around 744. 744, which is right around there. Okay, so now we have two levels here. Or say two areas, sorry, not two levels. We have 4 levels. So we have this one. We are currently below this level, so this would obviously be a place you want to short off of. And down here, which is the level you want to long off of. There we go. Make this the same color. There we go. So now I have two zones here based off purely the TPO where we'd like to long/short off of. Now we've not done it in reverse order, so now we'll look for standard confluences, right? But we can see that we already have 2 standard confluences, right? We have support resistance there, plus a demand block, plus a support resistance there, right? So these actually line up very, very perfectly. Up here, we have a support, resistance, support, resistance level, which also matches up very perfectly. Up here, this is a bit more abstract level, just purely off the TPO up there. So, based off this, you'd want to long around 744. And funnily enough, I actually have a long on SCI at 744. Look, it's the exact same level. So that's kind of nice that these match up. So we'll go back. We'll look to long down here, look to short up here, purely off the TPO. And then obviously you want to add other concepts as well, but this is a very, very good framework to start with. Very good framework to start with. Getting good levels that are factual and not just made up like a lot of levels are. All right, any questions regarding this? We have to buy ExoChart. You don't have to buy anything. Like I said, it does exist in TradingView. So if you want to see TradingView instead, that's perfectly fine. Makes no difference to me. Very interesting. We'll definitely look into this. And I'm glad you found it interesting, man. All right, that's it for this. Unless anyone has any other questions regarding the TPO. Right. Well, what next? I can do some. I can charge some coins if you guys want me to go over something, or answer any questions you may have regarding anything. To be honest, because we still have around 20 minutes left. So ordinals, sure. Broker. There we go. TIA chart, please. I'll go on the TIA chart as well in a small bit. Oops. Yeah. Mm. So ordinals. We flipped view up to resistance here, which is bad for ordinals, but we are right around a demand block here. So you'd look to potentially do a short off here. Super risky though. You do your stop loss like somewhere like this. You target these lows there, and then you'd DCA across here. So something like that, which would pull your average entry to around up here. So yeah, that's the idea. But ordinals is a very difficult coin to trade. So I would be careful, but that's the main idea here. You might explain those indicators you're doing? Just view up here. Just using as support resistance together with these deviation bands for the same thing. TIA chart, please. Yeah, sure. Sitting around view up here. Same below there. Around that way as well. So TIA, you'd potentially look to long this. I am long on TIA, just so you know. Off around this level here. We have demand box, we have view up, we have support resistance. Only thing is we have broken the trend line, which is bad, but we still have this one which is intact. So trend lines are very, very like mid. So I wouldn't base my entire trade off that. But something like this where you long off here, hoping for a market pullback would be the idea. If possible, injective, yeah, sure. I have my injective chart from last stream is still valid. It's this exact setup, so I'm just waiting for this. This is what I'm waiting for. Because we have very, very, very heavy support resistance here. Together with our view up standard deviation band number 2. And turn off this. And which one was it? This standard deviation band down there. So yeah, that's the idea. I have a long limit down here, so I missed it by fucking. Yeah, well, that was a few percent. Okay. I'd like your view on XRP. I wouldn't trade XRP, but I have entered a small long on XRP. Based off this over here. With this standard deviation band down there. So I do have a small long on XRP. Very small, because XRP is awful to trade. But if you want to, you can enter long as well. But yeah, XRP is very difficult to trade, so I would probably stay away, but yeah. Where are you from time zone? I'm in the UTC +1 time zone. I'm from Norway, my guy. The XRP is your short call. I am not currently short on XRP, man. Yeah, it got me mixed up. Maybe I did a scalp, but I'm not currently short on XRP now. No, I haven't sent a single message in all of the Foxian that's a short, so I don't know where you got that from. Quit lying, brother. I just started another long on Arkham. Did you think in another price discovery? I don't understand the question, but yeah, Arkham, Jesus, this nuked, or this pumped like crazy up. 160%. Holy. And I forgot I even had this spot bag, so I was reminded in a stream in another server yesterday, and I checked, I was up so much, so I was like, damn, I forgot I even held this. Sui and OP. Yeah. Sui. What's your general view on Bitcoin at the moment? I'll go over that later. One sec. There you go. Sui. Okay, this looks nice to be honest. I can't lie, this looks nice. I mean, I don't know. So you can consider long Sui, but the problem is that your range to the next key level is so far. So if you were to long, let's say there, it would be like a 12% stop loss, which is fine, I guess, because your DCA there, which will pull your average entry down to around here. So yeah, and targeting up these highs up there would be your idea on Sui. Let me just add this because this looks kind of nice. Right. An OP, yeah. So my OP setup is identical to who asked this? Iguchi. Yeah, Iguchi. My OP setup is identical to Decimal's setup, so you can just check that out. It's the exact same setup. We have view up here. Together with a huge support resistance level. And if I turn on this anchored view up here, you'll see that it's, if I go to the low here, it's approaching. So yeah, longing OP down here is the idea. Looking for something like this on OP. General view on BTC, yeah. So BTC currently, I'm mega bullish. I have a long setup. Turn on the long here. So here's my approximate long setup on BTC. There's no reason to be bearish at all. We haven't broken the structure at all. We're still within this range. And nothing is telling me to be bearish on BTC at all. I see some people shorting Bitcoin. I wouldn't short Bitcoin at all. I'm long to around 65, 63,000, even 75 if we get that. But my main target is around 63, 64,000 on BTC, longing down there. DCS around here, waiting for this to absolutely pump. I'm expecting around 60k by June. That shouldn't be a problem. We may even see 60k by March if we see some more inflows in this spot, but we'll see. But yeah, this is my long setup on BTC. Waiting for this to hit. All right. So yeah, my general view on BTC would be bullish. Matic, sure. Did you call that? Yes, it's in my channel. It's just I switched back to my old color theme, so it looks a bit different, but it's the same setup. So yes, it's in my channel. Most certainly it is. Matic, I think I covered Matic last time. It's the where's my Matic? Am I tweaking? Oh, it's there we go. Yeah, so I'm waiting for a breakout. If we get a breakout, we can go crazy, right? But before that, I'm not really touching Matic. I see it now. Good. AVAX. Sure. I'll close my extra charge because my Mac is fucking heating up like crazy. There we go. Standard deviation band there. Make it a bit nicer. There we go. Standard deviation band there. Standard deviation band there with the demand block. Anchored view up would be around. Okay, let's take the low instead. Okay, yeah. So you're looking for a. So there's two things you're looking for here. Looking for a potential bounce off this level, which is very high likely because we have both view up and anchored view up there. Right. The only thing is we still have this to break through and this huge supply block. So your setup would be maybe potentially short there. Super risky though. Look to maybe potentially long here. Goes right below the deviation band up there, targeting these highs up here. But the main setup, the best setup here by far, the only one you should really take is a long from down here. Stop loss maybe below this one here, so around there, and then you'd TP around see here. TP around there, possibly. So those are three AVAX setups, but again, this long is the only one you should really take because these others are so risky, super risky. So yeah, that's AVAX. Whoever asked for AVAX, I forgot who. Okay, I'll add this because it looks nice. BCH. Looks like a boring coin. Jesus Christ, what is this? I never look at this coin because it's so boring. It's almost like XRP, but slightly better. I mean, logging here could be an idea, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, potentially long here could be an idea, and then you'd put your stop loss like there, maybe, and then you TP around there. But again, super risky. I spent 20 seconds on this, so it's something you're gonna have to do some on analysis as well. Whoever asked for that, Gucci, you did. But yeah, that's the idea. You're long off this foot support resistance together with a view up. You also have on a lower time frame here, about to 12-hour. You have a demand block right around there. So yeah, I'll add this as well because these all look pretty good. GMT, sure. I'll do one last coin after this, and then I'll wrap it up. GMT. So this is one of those spot beasts. You don't want to really trade leverage, but you can enter some spot and hope for the best. Yeah. Nothing else really. This structure isn't easy to trade at all on leverage, so you look to do some spot bids down there, and then hope for this to nuke off. Right, but I wouldn't trade this on futures at all. It's just this structure is so horrible to trade on futures. Look at this. It's just been dumping. All right. What is anchor point? Anchor point is essentially so a standard view up. It anchors off. In this case, every year it starts new. So 2024 starts a new anchor. Here 2023 starts a new, etc. With the anchored view up, you can select the anchor point yourself. Okay, so you can maybe take a swing high up here, for example. Take a swing low down there, and it just gives you a bit more flexible. Link slash theta. I'll do theta because link is boring. Honestly, I'm having nachos afterwards. That's gonna be so good. Right. See. Not seeing much on theta here. Did anyone call theta, or just you guys want to see it? So you consider longing down here. That's the main idea here. Yeah, who called it? Yeah, I mean you could long down here, definitely. Stop loss right on there, possibly. Targeting. Neil called it. Okay. Well, he knows what he's doing, so I mean I'm sure it's a good setup. So something like this, I guess, where you'd. What's his entry? Actually, I'll just check his channel to see if it matches up. Theta. Where is theta? Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, so yeah, you'd look to potentially long down there. That's the main idea. Only thing in your way is this huge support resistance, which is going to be difficult to break through. But if we do that, I mean, this can rocket. So I'll add this as well. Theta. Yeah, all right. So that's that. 1.24. 124. 124. Really? Really? 124. Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah. What structure do you look for then when doing futures? I want previous points of support resistance, right? Because on GMT, you don't really have much here. This was basically just dump, 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 dump. And we finally have reclaimed here, which is why I'd say you could potentially long off this composite here on spot. But other than that, it's not really giving me clean enough structure, clean enough levels to use this on futures, because all the levels are so macro, right? There's no real like it's mainly discretionary, but these levels here are so like huge, if that makes sense. This was December 2022, and this is like this down here is December 2023, right? So these are 1 year apart and they still hold. So these are levels which are difficult to use for futures because the more touches you get on support / resistance, the weaker they get. And these have been touching for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, right? So yeah, I just look for cleaner levels, to be honest, if that makes sense. And GMTS, like I said, it's just been dumping. So I mean, the potential is insane, but other than that, I wouldn't really trade anything like this on futures. If that makes sense. Uni. Okay, I'll do uni last, and then I'll get off. What the? Rocked. Let's ignore that trend line. Trend lines don't work. I don't know why I even draw them. There we go. Up here as well, which is where we rejected from, so that makes sense. Holy, this just completely went off the moon here. Yeah, you want to long off down here. That's the idea. We can even go on a 4, 5, 6 here and just check the other deviation bands as well. 4, 5, 6. Not 26, that's a bit high. You have this reset there, so you could long off here as well. But these are mega risk. Did anyone call uni? Because I don't want to be calling anyone out for doing bad setups. And you do have the VR preset there as well. So yeah, you'd look to long off here. That's the main setup. Some like this would be your setup. Targeting D size. Fundamental news. Okay, what happened? What happened? This looks so nice. I love this. Token rewards. Woo. All right. Okay. So yeah, I'll wrap it up here. We've gotten I don't know how many steps this is. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setups that I've added. So I mean, you guys have some stuff to do your own analysis on. And like I said, these are you guys see how little time I spent on these. I like 1 minute. So definitely do your own analysis as well to sort of learn and add some stuff. To add some further confirmation on these setups, right? But yeah, this long looks so cooked. I'll probably take it. But yeah, everyone, thanks for coming through and participating. Quite a few people today. Quite a few questions, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two, especially around the TPO. So yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you so much, Alex. As always, pleasure, man, to have you here.
Yeah. Thank you, man. All right, I'll see you guys later. See you.
See you, buddy. Take care.